So we'll just wait for people to join in. And meanwhile,
wonderful.
We'll just share. So we are live. And
great.
We'll just share from our platform to our friends so they can join in.
Okay, great. I'll go and share. You have such a large audience on Chuckling Tales. That's so lovely.
Yeah.
Everyone likes it. Okay. Here we are. Wow.
Assalamualaikum, everyone. I am Madiha, and we are back with our second episode of this Eat Local cook-off, which is really, really exciting, even better than the last season. So in this cook-off, I'm joined by Rachel, all the way from USA, and I'm really, really excited to host this with us. For those of you joining us for the first time, the concept of this virtual kitchen cook-off show is that I will get to teach people from different countries how to cook the best of Pakistani food and the authentic home cooked recipe. So that's what I'm most excited about. But the other part, which is even more exciting, is that I'm bringing you recipes from kitchens all over the world. And these are also homemade, authentic cuisine made with so much love. So we'll be sharing that. So today, I have with me Rachel. Hello, Rachel.
Hi.
So we're so distant, but we're literally like 12 hours, almost 11, 12 hours apart. So in terms of time zone. So tell me, Rachel, about you, and then we'll get to what we're doing today.
Yes, my name is Rachel. I live in Colorado, kind of in the middle of the United States, near the west. And we are going to be cooking apple pie today. I really love apple pie because it reminds me of holidays that we have here. Often for Christmas or Easter or Thanksgiving, we'll have an apple pie. And I've been the one to make it for my big family since I was little, since I was maybe 6 or 7. I'm sure I had a lot more help back then, though. We have big apple trees in our backyard. So this is also, we usually get the apples from there, but this year we don't have many apples. So I got them from the store.
Okay.
Yes, I'm a business owner here, and I own an online company for ethical and impactful business. So kind of similar to Amazon, where you can get things shipped to you here in the US, but anything that we sell has some sort of positive social or environmental impact. So that's what I do when I'm not baking apple pie. And I'm really excited to be on the show.
Okay, wonderful. So today I'm going to give you a bit of a background of what I'm making today. So I'm making a Kashmiri dish today. So I got married into a Kashmiri family. So Pakistan has a different ethnicities, right? And each ethnicity has their own set of cuisine, a full-fledged cuisine, right? So I was introduced to Kashmiri cuisine when I got married, and it is beautiful in terms of flavor. And today I'm very excited to also welcome on the show our special guest. Say hello to my mom-in-law, who is an expert in Kashmiri cuisine, and I said it's best that she teaches you how to make the best of the best Kashmiri food. And Kashmiri food is also one of those cuisines which are not being really transferred from one generation to another generation. So 5 years back, we actually put it in a blog. We both got together, and then we put it in a blog and put all the recipes that she adopted from her household, and we put it in a blog, and it's right there in form of written recipes as well. So let's get cooking.
Wonderful. I'm so excited.
Okay, so you're going to tell the ingredient first?
Yes. So there's 2 parts for making the apple pie. First, we have the crust, which will go in here in a pie tin. So this is important. You can have one like this that's glass or ceramic, but you could also just have one made of metal.
Mm-hmm.
For that, it's very simple. All you need is flour, 2 cups of flour, salt, 1 teaspoon of salt, and shortening, I use butter, and you'd need 2 to 3 cups of that, and then 4 to 6 tablespoons of water. So only flour, salt, butter, and water for the crust. It's a really good, simple one. And then the rest is the filling. So this is the part that goes inside. And I tend to add a little bit of extra things like extra sugar or extra cinnamon, but all you need is 1/3 or 1/2 cup of sugar, 1/4 cup of flour, half a teaspoon of cinnamon and nutmeg, and an 1/8 teaspoon of salt, and then all of your apples, which take quite a long time to peel. So I've peeled most of them already. And then we'll just have some more butter. So that's all that we have now. Here are the apples. They're the prettiest part of the ingredients. And then all sorts of baking ingredients like these. Oh no, I cannot hear you anymore.
I'm just going to show you the ingredients at my end.
Great.
But the fun part today is that we'll actually show you how to make cottage cheese as well. So do you get cottage cheese in the US?
You know, I've never made it before. We can buy it. I was so excited because I shared that I would be doing this with you, and I had a few friends from India and Pakistan tell me where near me I could buy this.
Yes. So
yeah,
cottage
so
cheese. Yeah, cottage cheese you can buy hard boiled. This has been made by Auntie herself, and then you have, and she's gonna tell you how to fried, and this is also fried. So she's gonna tell you how to make it today from milk.
Wow,
Very simple.
amazing.
Yeah. So then we have tomatoes, we have onions, we have peas. You can get frozen peas, and then ginger garlic paste. And this is the beautiful. We put this all together for you. This is the spices we have. Nothing to be scared of. You don't need like lots of it. Just simple salt and red chilies. Then you have turmeric. You have cumin seeds, and this is coriander powder. And auntie, kya? Garam masala. So this is a mix of spices. All of this you can get from the store, any store, local store. Okay. So, but first, let's tell you how to make the cottage cheese. And you can meanwhile start prepping up for your stuff as well.
Okay, great. I will.
Okay. Milk. So the milk is almost boiling. And then we add, so we had very small amount of fresh milk left for today. We're just using that. Okay. So as soon as you put vinegar in it, you put the fire up and it curds. Look at that. It's ready. Yeah. So ye ban gaya. So now we just need to strain it and put it in a bowl and then just hang it for a little while. So those of you who are watching, tell us where you're watching us from and leave a comment for me and Rachel. And if you have any questions, tell us and we will get back. So, cotton cloth. This is a cotton cloth. Huh. So it's pretty quick. It takes about 10 minutes to make cottage cheese at home. I mean, you have to hang it for a little while till everything is, but the best way to make paneer matar or cottage cheese with peas is by this homemade paneer. So this is a very small quantity that we made just to show everyone.
It's nice to see. I can see everyone's comments over here, so it's nice to see everyone watching.
Yes, yeah. So you tell, what are you doing?
So I'm going to start by starting our crust. So we're going to start with the flour, the salt, and then what's called cut in the shortening. So it's really similar to mixing, but we're going to use something slightly different. So our flour. It was good that you pre-measured your ingredients. I should have done that.
Oh, that's okay. I'm pro at this now.
Yeah, you're a professional now. You know how to do it so quickly. But we'll start with our 2 cups of flour and our shortening. There's the flour. And all that we're going to have to do here, so I'll just keep doing it while you do your next step, but all we're going to have to do is take the butter and the flour and the water, and we'll start cutting it into each other so that it makes small balls of kind of the mixture, and then keep doing that for a while. So you can continue if you'd like, and I'll show what it looks like.
Okay, and apple pie, I think crust is the most important part in apple pie, right? I mean, if you have a nice flaky crust.
It's very flaky if you do it right, and it's really nice.
Okay, wonderful. So we have on our hands fried cottage cheese, which was frozen. So you can also do that. You can make it in bulk. This is out of 2 liters of milk, and Auntie made it in bulk, and she's now just going to put hot water in it with a little bit of turmeric, and then cover it up and leave it till we do the other stuff. So, Rachel, we are gonna go ahead and start the cooking process.
Great.
As you can see, we have we're preparing the curry, bilkul. So in the curry we need onions and tomatoes. It's half of the dishes in Pakistan start with that.
That's delicious.
So we're just gonna saute it. This is gonna be a little tricky to show the laptop around, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you can see now. Can you?
Yes. And your mother-in-law is looking very beautiful too.
Kashmiris are known for 2 things. One, their looks, and one, their great food.
Oh, my mom.
So we have these.
Say hi to.
Oh, sure, that would be lovely.
So this thing I said cutting the butter. It looks like this. I'll come show you. Because you can use just a fork, but I'm using this. It's called a pastry cutter. And so you cut it like this.
Oh,
so
nice.
This is
what a
just
garlic
butter
has
and
something
flour.
like this.
And then you keep doing that until they're just really small.
Okay. Blend कर ले.
Mom, do you want to say hi?
Sure. Okay, so then the next step is adding the tomatoes and the onions. So we're gonna blend them first and then add it.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So her mother-in-law is on helping her cook this dish. And this is my mom.
And I'm not helping at all.
Oh, say hello, Auntie.
She's probably the one who taught me how to make
Hi.
in the first place, so that's nice.
Oh, that is so sweet. We have
Way too much
two
fun.
generations together cooking.
This is so fun. We're sharing it so people can watch it.
Awesome.
I'm sure people will say hello, Rachel.
So we're all the way here in Islamabad, Pakistan.
We're all the way in Pakistan.
Awesome. That's so cool that we can just talk on the other sides of the world.
I know.
Amazing.
It's a wonderful way to bring people together, I think, what you've done.
Thank you.
Blending it.
So you're blending the tomatoes.
Great. In the crust, we had just the butter and the flour, and now I'm adding 1 teaspoon of salt. And I'll keep cutting. It's looking good over there. Oh, I think I can't hear you again. I'm not sure. Maybe.
I'm saying that usually the recipes are really, really lengthy. So I have to make sure that I pick recipes which are short and you can get the ingredients as well.
Yes. So I'm going to start adding water in here now.
Okay.
For the crust, now you can see they're just really small. This is like little crumbs.
Okay.
And as I add water, it will become from that crummy mixture into a dough for that we can roll out into the crust.
So we have added garlic and ginger garlic paste, adding a little bit of water. Hi Myra, I hope you can hear us now. Thank you Myra, Raza and Sadia for joining us. So we have blended the onion and tomato together. And acha. So Auntie Cuban seeds. So this is where the magic happens. You add cumin seeds.
Ooh, smell good in there.
Tomato,
Onion. So we just added tomato onion paste.
Great. So I'm about to start rolling out the dough. The great thing about this is if it feels too wet, you add flour. If it feels too dry, you add water. So it's okay if it's a little bit different for us.
Okay.
Sometimes baking is hard in Colorado because it's much drier here. So we have to change sometimes the recipe just a little bit to make sure that the baking works. So I'm adding flour, and then now it's a crust, and it will come out here. And we'll start making it into balls so we can roll them out to make the crust.
Is your family excited that they're going to get to eat apple pie early in the morning?
Yes, My dad, when he went to university, his grandmother would send him apple pies in the mail, and he said it was his favorite. So I use actually, I think, a very similar recipe to what she used. So he still really, really likes it.
Okay, so a lot of people are looking forward to it.
Yes, I am too.
Okay, so here comes our spices galore.
Oh,
We're
delicious.
gonna have all the spices in it, and the written recipes there. But it's really these small steps that you follow that makes huge difference. Even some of them I don't know. Like the sequence of the steps is very, very important in Pakistani cuisine. So what you do first, and then second and third.
Wow, I wish I could smell it.
Oh yes. So we have added some water, and then we just cooking the gravy. We will have to wait till the next morning and lunch to eat this.
Oh.
So you made around two crusts out of it.
Yes. So after I added enough, and then we knead it. So these are the two balls. And kneading, if you haven't kneaded before, probably many people have, but if you haven't, we tend to kind of scoop it so that it's this way, and you press the heel of your hand into it, and then fold it back over to press it again. And this just allows it to get all mixed up in there, especially because you have all those little balls of butter in it.
Yes. Sahar is there. Hi, Wafa. Thank you for joining. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to share. So, Rachel, how is it from the hub? What are you guys? So you're joining in as the new curator?
Yes. So I am the new curator of our Global Shapers Hub, which is how I met you. And we're doing really well. I think we're currently working on a project that is promoting anti-racism, which is, I'm sure everyone watching has seen the way that is happening here.
Yeah.
So that's what we're focused on, and we're focused on bringing both books and art from Black authors and artists in our state, and hopefully hosting a social distance event where people can come and see all the art pieces and see the books.
So nice.
Contribution.
That sounds exciting. I know it's really tough time all over the world. I mean, we have been in the lockdown for over 3 months. I run a cafe with home chefs, and we've been closed, and it's a bit upsetting, but still, I mean, we're lucky enough to be able to do this. So yeah, so I'm sorry.
When did you start Shuffling Tales?
So this is going to fly off to my keyboard. So this is the cottage cheese. It's ready.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then you just slice it and then just fry it before putting it in the curry.
And did you guys made that from scratch as well?
Yeah. Wow. You can actually fry them and then
Store it in the freezer.
Store it in the freezer. So make it in a bulk and then store it in the freezer.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
So now these are about ready. I'll come show you to be rolled.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell because they're getting much drier. So instead of being so just buttery, it kind of has these cracks. And we don't want it to let it get too dry.
Okay.
But now we'll use a rolling pin and roll it out to the size of the pan that you're using.
Okay. Perfect.
And a good tip that lots of people know, but many don't, is that if you put a little bit of flour on your rolling pin, then it won't stick so much to your dough. So definitely helpful for this recipe because this is kind of a sticky dough.
So in Pakistan, we make flatbread every day with our food. So yeah, a lot of Pakistanis watching it would be very experts in
Yeah, definitely.
doing the pie because we eat flatbread every meal, like lunch, dinner.
Is
Um
it similar to, is your flatbread similar to puri? That's what I had when I was in India and it was delicious.
yeah, so puri is more made out of flour, but roti is what we have, and it's made out of whole wheat usually, whole wheat flour. So yeah.
That sounds
Puri
delicious.
is also then cooked in oil. This is just cooked on a pan, all by itself. So yeah. Okay, so our curry is almost. So this is a process called. You might want to repeat what I'm saying. It's called bhunna. Can you say that?
Masala
Yeah.
bhunna.
Masala bhunna. You want to try repeating the process? That's a tough one. So now we're gonna add peas in it. These are frozen peas. Um, so just the regular.
Ooh, that looks so good.
Yes. So this is it, and then we're gonna add. I think next step, aren't you?
पानी डालना है पनीर डालना है बस
Bus. So we're on to our last step, but then it's gonna like cook for about 10 minutes, and I will chat to you. So for all those who join in, I'm making Matar Paneer from the Kashmiri cuisine. Um, Actually, Auntie's making it, and I'm just talking. and and this is where we are, and we're just gonna add at the end the cottage cheese.
Amazing. I can't wait to try it. I'm gonna have to rewatch this video and cook along with you next.
Yes, please do that. And we can definitely do a cook along as well. So this definitely gets a little complicated, but then I mean, what's the best way of knowing each other's cuisine? I mean, I'm hungry to know. So
Yeah. And like you said, especially now, the groceries are a little bit. We're very lucky where I am that grocery stores are pretty well stocked. There's nothing really missing. But I know that's
Yeah.
not the case probably for a lot of people that you're cooking with.
yeah,
So
that's true.
extra challenge.
We're just gonna wait for the peas to become a little softer,
Okay.
and then we're just gonna add mutton in it. Yes, for a lot of people, Matar Paneer in Pakistan is even new because it's a very Kashmiri cuisine and cooked in Kashmiri households. So it's actually news for a lot of people in Pakistan too,
Yeah.
because this is how our diverse our cuisine is actually, um, and
Okay, so I'll show you the next, and then maybe I'll try to move the phone so that you can. Let's see. So now you can see we have two crusts here, and they're
Yeah.
about the right size for the pan. So I'm just going to leave them aside for a little while we make the apples.
okay.
And I peeled a lot of the apples ahead of time, so I'll do a little of that. But I should have also chopped them because this takes a little while. So I'm sorry for the delay.
No, it's all right. We can talk more about the movement that is happening and how are you supporting there in US. Of course, I mean, because it's a global thing, we're all as much concerned. We've had our own share of racism issues and at our end, and we've been very vocal about it in Pakistan as well. Everyone has been very vocal about it to support
It's
things
amazing
there.
how the pandemic and this anti-racism movement have both been so global.
Yeah.
Normally I think we can only sympathize with each other, but now we really have all the empathy for everything that's going on. So, here in Colorado, we have had less of a history with slavery because our state is a newer state, so it wasn't happening quite the same way. But we still deal with a ton of racism, especially anti-Black racism here in Colorado, and that has been really important for me to learn about, because it's not something that I deal with personally as a white woman, but it is something that I think that we all contribute to. So that's been the biggest thing for me, and my biggest advice for anyone else is to continue to read and learn a lot about our history and why racism exists so much here, and really try to listen to voices who are more at the front lines of that work, because I can help, but only so much if I'm not educated. So that's been my main thing. We've had many protests in Denver, which is close to near where I live, and they have been pretty effective. I know many people feel worried about it with destruction of property and things, which hasn't been too bad in our city. But our governor just wrote an executive order to stop qualified immunity, which is one thing a lot of the protesters are fighting against, and that makes sure that police are held accountable for their actions.
So that's a huge victory actually at your end.
It is. And Colorado is one of the first states, so I'm very thankful to live here.
Oh, wonderful. That is such a good thing.
Yeah.
So back to the cooking. So it takes about 5 to 7 minutes for the peas to sort of cook through. Now we're just gonna add our fried paneer in it, and then with some water. And now we're gonna let it cook for about 10-15 minutes. 5-10 minutes, and this beauty thing will be ready. And because the paneer, which is the cottage cheese, the flavors are it's so rich that it just seeps into the gravy, and you enjoy it with a cup of boiled rice. It's just perfect.
That sounds amazing. I think the cottage cheese that we tend to have here is a lot soupier, and I like the fried cottage cheese you guys are using. It looks delicious.
Yeah. So the cottage cheese that we made, you can just slice it and then fry it a little bit in the oil, and that's about it.
That's great. So I'm chopping up the apples now. I haven't always had one of these, but it helps a lot, and it just looks like this,
We have that lying around as well, but I think we've never used it.
It really helps. And I also saved the apple skins because we have horses here, and so they really, really like to eat the apple skins. So I'm going to save them for my horses.
So Hallie is saying, good cat, Rachel. So we put the...
Oh.
Yeah, go ahead.
It says thinly sliced apples, but my family actually tends to like it when it's rather chunky, so we leave ours a little bit bigger. I'll probably cut each of these into maybe 4 pieces, so 4 smaller chunks, and then we'll put those in. I think it tastes a little juicier that way, but it's totally just based on your preference.
Oh, I love it. There's nothing like a good apple. I'm just gonna fetch some water because it's really hot here.
Okay,
great. मुझे white वाली इसी में अच्छा लग रहा है. Looking so good, Sufyan. Thank you, Zahida. Hi. Um,
One
thank
of
you
my
for
friends,
joining.
Haley, I don't think
Yeah,
you
Haley.
saw it. I don't think you saw it, but one of the apples almost started rolling off the counter, and I caught it. And she said, "Good catch."
Okay, I was wondering. So I did the same thing with the cottage cheese. it's
Oh man.
it's quite an exercise doing this live shows. I
Truly,
mean,
I'm really impressed because I for the company that I own, we sell some foods. And so recently I tried to do like a little cooking show in order to show how to make it. And it's very difficult to cook on video because it's pressure and
yeah.
there's a lot of steps.
Yeah. So what I'm wearing today is also a Kashmiri design of clothing. So I don't know, you can't see me full, but yes. So this is yeah. So we every region, ethnic region that we have, it's also has its own fashion sense, right? So it's
Yeah.
food, it's fashion for every region wherever you go in Pakistan. So this is how diverse we are in terms of our culture.
So beautiful.
And I love talking about it and putting it forward.
Just to chop up the apples and then we'll put spices on them and then we're getting close to done.
Perfect. So are you gonna preheat the oven or what?
Oh, yes. I'm really glad you said that.
Okay.
Yes. Let's see how.
Because I missed this up. So for my Pakistani lazy audience, I have so because we were in lockdown and we couldn't get these ready-made, much ready-made stuff, right? So there's this. So a hack that I did was that these are frozen parathas that come um, in round size, right? And so I use the frozen parathas, like frozen roti, and whoever is listening from Pakistan will understand what I'm talking about. So these are dawn parathas, and then I use them because I was too lazy during, especially during Ramadan. You're fasting all day, you're really exhausted. So I would use that as the base, and then just put some apples on top, and then make a nice, gritty grid on top and just put like sugar on top and then just bake it. So I mean it helps you sort of curb your craving, but of course it doesn't match this what you're making right now.
Definitely. Well, this one does take much longer, and as you see, there's a lot of chopping. So I think what you're doing is a good, or what you do is a good in between.
No, but this is in my head would have taken much longer, but this is not taking as long as I in my head assumed apple pie takes. Right?
Gotcha. The other dish that I often make for holidays is croissant rolls, which I didn't want to make today because really they're French. They're not from here. But they're really fun because you roll up the dough and it kind of feels like a little piece of art every time, I think.
So we're just taking out the
Those
dish.
are my holiday specialties.
Okay, so tell me more about. So now you have 4th of July coming in. Tell me more about what you guys do on any of the holidays and what is it like.
Yeah, so I'm lucky because I'm living here with my parents during the quarantine, so I don't have to miss them. We have a big family. Usually on holidays, we have maybe around 40 or 50 people here at the house.
Wow.
And that's just people who live in Colorado. And we have both my mom and dad have large families.
That sounds like a typical Pakistani family.
Yeah?
Yes.
I love that.
Okay. So about 40 people in the house, huh?
Yes. And
wow.
Mostly just on our holidays, we just spend, eating and catching up with each other and getting to know, what has everyone been up to. So that's one thing that I missed this year. For my family, who many are Christians, The three holidays we mostly celebrate are Easter and Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And so this year for Easter, we didn't really get to do that.
Yeah.
Because of
Yeah, Easter
quarantine.
was tough for all of you. Same here. We had one Eid where we just didn't know what to do because we're also used to the same people getting together for lunch and dinner, and then next day lunch, the next day dinner, and we couldn't do that. And there's another Eid coming up, which is Eid al-Adha, and absolutely clueless. So we do a lot of like dressing up and cooking lots of food and just eating all day long and sleeping. So yeah, so we'll definitely miss it on Eid.
I'm excited I think that when those things start happening again, we'll take it less for granted, you know?
Hmm. So we are almost ready. Auntie Carrie के बिल्कुल तैयार हो गया है. Almost ready. It smells really nice.
It looks like it smells so good. All the spices you have in there look delicious.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I think we're ready to put the spices in the apples, so I'm going to do that next.
Okay. बस वेट करिए वो 5-7 मिनट है हम बैठना तो बैठे आपको बुला लेंगे
So we are supposed to put 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, or half teaspoon of cinnamon, half teaspoon of nutmeg. But actually, I've looked and I think I forgot that we have run out of nutmeg. So I'm just going to put 2 of cinnamon, and that will work just fine.
Okay. So nutmeg powder and
So just to show you what the apples look like before I put the spices in, because it's quite a difference. Here's all the chopped up apples to go inside, and then we'll put the cinnamon and sugar on, and you'll see they get the cinnamon and sugar and butter really mixed together, and it gets really sweet and almost like a syrup, and it's really nice.
So what I sometimes do is, again, my shortcut is that I cook it on the stove, but traditionally that's not how it's done, right?
Ooh, yeah, it's not, but honestly, I think that would taste, especially if you were doing kind of a fast one, I think that would taste amazing.
With cooking on the stove.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna try it this way because I think that's the tenderness of the apples is, and the texture is completely different when you bake it versus when you cook it.
Exactly. I think that would be right. So, like I said, I put a little bit more sugar usually than most people do because I just like to. I like the way that it tastes. But you're supposed to put half a cup of sugar, so I'm just putting maybe 3/4 of a cup.
It's okay. Pakistanis will love it because on average, I think each Pakistani adds 3 teaspoons of sugar in their cup of tea. So, okay. So it looks like we have a little bit of drop from Rachel. Or
am I back? Can you see
I
me
can't
again?
see you. It's okay. I will remove you and then add you again. Whenever you're ready. So, यहाँ हमारा तैयार है मटर पनीर. Thanks to auntie. जब थक चुकी हैं because it's really late here in Pakistan. Look, it looks absolutely delicious. कोई technical मसला ना हो तो फिर live shows कैसे चले? So this is the recipe, and I'll share the link of the blog. The picture is 5 years old. And she's back.
Sorry about that. I think I received.
It's a
doing it on my phone, and I received a spam call. So.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna put this butter in, but I'm actually gonna just microwave it for just a few seconds because it will make it easier to mix.
Okay. It's our magic machine, right?
Yes. I think some friends of mine have decided that they would like to not have a microwave anymore because it kind of makes them be more intentional about what they eat. So it's not so much, I think, in the US especially, there's a lot of addiction to just junk food.
Yeah.
And so I have some friends who've decided they don't have a microwave anymore to help them avoid eating just junky food.
Yes, you in US. I think there's a whole concept of ready-made prepared meals.
Yeah.
You just take them out from the freezer and then microwave them. But Pakistan, there are very few things that we make. I mean, it's usually used to heat things up, and we don't have a ready-made food available because women here are very hands-on when it comes to kitchens and cooking, and so.
Well, I
We
can
have
see that. You guys are doing so well.
Yeah. So there's another dish that I would love to teach everyone in Kashmiri cuisine is called khatta gosh, which is sour and sour beef. And it's really spicy. That I mean, you'll forget Thai spices. So and it's just really amazing. So next time, definitely, if somebody, I'm mostly keeping vegetarian dishes because I'm not sure. What people's preferences are. So I'm keeping vegetarian dishes for this cook-off. But otherwise, that's really interesting as well. So you're just gonna microwave the apples
Just
then?
mixing it with the apples because the butter is not quite soft enough to be mixing in there, so I'm just making it a little bit softer.
Okay, wonderful.
Is the dish that you're making now, is it very spicy or not very spicy?
No, this is not spicy at all. So you can adjust the spice at your level. This is not spicy at all. So yeah.
I always really like spicy food, but I think my body doesn't handle it. Like I just get very red in the face and things. And I got to travel to Nepal a few years ago, and some guests or some friends had us over for lunch, and they made me lunch, and it was absolutely delicious. But I was really like red faced and like runny nose, and their landlord came in to greet us and say hello, and we had a translator. I don't speak any Nepali, so their landlord came in and felt so bad for me because she could see the way my face was turning red that she came back with a block of sugar for me to put on my So I'm a wimp when it comes to spicy food.
Okay, so it's interesting. A lot of people think Pakistani food is probably spicy, but it's not generally. So we have regions where there are no red chilies added. Two regions where there are a lot of flavor spices added. So we're in sort of halfway to the spicier grade and more influenced by less spices.
Yeah.
So so we don't add much spices here in Punjab. I mean, you can say that. But depending on your taste again. We're near to the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province, and that's where they only eat in and near to the northern area, so they only eat in salt or maximum is the green chilies. Yeah.
Cool.
So you can cook majority of the dishes on the website.
Yes, good. I'm so glad. Oh, it's so fun to see everyone commenting and saying hello. So nice. What do you have now?
So it's almost ready. We're just cooking it a little bit just to get those flavors infused, but I think it's ready. I'm gonna wait for Auntie's last. Yeah. It's ready. So you're ready to put it inside the pie tray?
Yes, it's almost ready to put inside the pie. Here's how it looks. I think I'm going to add a little bit more sugar and cinnamon because I think that I made a little bit more apples than I was supposed to. So I'm going to add a little bit extra sugar and cinnamon. But this is how they look when the butter is getting all, you can kind of see it's like caramelized almost on there.
Okay, sounds good.
and then we'll put it in the pie, which is the most fun part.
So you also go by approximation method while cooking, or
Yeah.
yeah, so you're like, oh, okay, now I'm not gonna measure it. It's okay.
Like, let's just put some more in here.
I mean, it's so hard to get our moms to write recipes for us because they'll say, okay, so you'll put these spices, and you're like, okay, how much, mom? And then they'll go, okay, like everything is based on approximation and the taste. So it's very hard to get these recipes, but there are treasure as well. So yeah, but approximation works in our cooking like anything.
And I saw you posted the link to the recipe, so I can do that too in case people are wanting.
Yeah.
So ours is it's the Betty Crocker recipe. And when I was a little girl, we had the physical Betty Crocker cookbook, but it got so torn up because I made this recipe so many times that now I just get it online.
Okay, perfect. We get Betty Crocker's mixes here. So when we are lazy, we make the brownies and the cakes.
Yeah, I was thinking that if you wanted to do another one someday, we could so basically, like I told you, the company that I own, it sells from companies that are making some sort of impact. So we have one company here in Denver that's giving employment experience and some training to homeless women from Denver, or women who are having trouble finding employment. And they make the most delicious soups and brownies and all sorts of things. So if you ever wanted to do another one, we could make one of those.
Yes, that would be amazing. So I work with home chefs here in Pakistan. So there are a lot of women who are, for different reasons, who can't get out of their homes. And they have this one skill of cooking, which is absolutely amazing, how they do it. And so we tell them and teach them how to. My startup, we help them start their food businesses. So that's what we do.
I would love to hear more. Send me more information about that. That sounds amazing.
So we give them trainings from different professionals on how to do costings, how to run a food business. That's from passion to business, right? So yeah. So that's a completely different thing. We help them with the packaging and everything. We help them with the placements as well. So the cafe that I run has about 7, 8 home chefs that they send in their banana breads and apple cinnamon breads every day.
That's so cool. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna try to. I definitely think that what you're doing like that is so important. So thank you for that work, and I'm sure there are such a good community of people there. I'm trying. I just put, so you guys are sitting on this chair and then this chair and then this. So I'm propping up the phone against this pineapple to see if you can see me a little bit better while I put the stuff in the apples in the pie. Okay, that should be.
Nice.
So the crust
Okay,
is
so
now.
I'm gonna remove myself so you can show it properly to the.
Okay. So you just put it in the pan like this. You may have seen when I was doing it that it ripped a little bit, and it's no big deal because it's nice and sticky dough. So right here it ripped, and then I just kind of pushed it with my fingers so that it would not be ripped anymore. So you want it to cover the whole thing, and we'll then take the apples that we've mixed. I like to put a lot of apples because then the pie is a little bit more thick, and I like it like that. But once again, that's just your preference.
Okay.
So I like to pile it up really high. Yes, that's looking really good. Let's see. This is a little higher than I would usually go, but I think that will be great. And then get all of this good sugar, cinnamon, apple, butter juice, and make sure that it all gets in there as well. So from the top, it looks like. And this is a recipe you definitely want to make sure your hands are clean because you're going to be using them a lot. There's what it looks like from the top. And then I think the very most fun part is putting on the top crust because it reminds me of Snow White, the Disney movie, and she asks all the little birds to help her make a pie in that some song that she sings. I don't remember which one actually. But so first you just lay the other crust. You made two, so one on the bottom and one on top. You can also make a pie that has no top crust, and some people you may have seen they'll put like a design on the top instead of a full crust, but we like this full crust one. So here's what it looks like from the top. And then I think the most fun part, and this is so silly, I don't know why I like it so much, but using the fork to create the design on the sides. So just you seal it, with your fork. Let's see. So just doing like this around the edge. And then you can make all sorts of designs on the top, but I usually keep it pretty simple. You want to poke a couple holes like this so that any of the air that builds up inside the crust will escape. But I just think this is so satisfying that you can just use this fork and get this really nice looking side on your crust.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Isn't it nice? And then it turns, it's so big. And then you'll take a knife, and you can use a much smaller knife. This is just the one I use to cut the apples. And then you just trim it. So all the way around.
Okay, so all the extra endings go this way.
Mm-hmm. And what we do, our family, is we will use this extra dough to make cinnamon rolls, and all you have to do is roll it out, put sugar and cinnamon on it, and then roll it up, and then you can bake it at the same time as you bake your pie.
Oh, nice.
So it's a good way to not waste the extra scraps and have a nice tasty treat. But this time we had quite a few scraps. But this is the pie then, and that's what we're going to put in the oven.
Perfect. So I'm just gonna dish out and I'll ask Auntie to come and do this. So how long would you put it in the oven for?
It's gonna go in. Let me make sure I tell you the right number. It's gonna be at 425 for 40 to 50 minutes, or you can do until the crust is brown if you want to just watch it.
Okay. Perfect. You're going to send us a pretty picture of the pie when it's ready. And I'm just going to show you this. Auntie?
Okay, I want to see you dish out.
Okay, so it looks like we're both ready for our final show.
Yes.
Ta-da!
Oh, that looks amazing with the cheese.
Ajay. So I thought Auntie will do the garnishing and the serving. So
Great.
there you go.
And what did you put in for the garnish?
So we're just doing some coriander and some all spices mix. Sorry.
Oh, that looks delicious. Now I'm getting really hungry for Pakistani food, so that's tricky because you're so far away.
So I'll definitely find some good Pakistani restaurant for you nearby and share that with you. Somebody who makes really good authentic Pakistani food. So I was his wife, right? And I just want to say a quick thank you to Auntie before she leaves because it's really late now. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for doing this.
So good to meet you.
Thank you very much.
So this was fun on a Saturday night.
Yeah, for me, Saturday
For us.
morning. Oh, so nice.
Yes. So where's your pie? Have you already put it in the oven? We
I
do
did.
start.
देर लगेगी.
वो तो she's good. Okay. How do we do this selfie where
Oh
you?
yeah, maybe a screenshot. I'll take a screenshot.
Okay, let's do that. It smells so great. Too bad we can't eat it right now. So I'm gonna do a photo shoot of it early in the morning, and then we're gonna eat it for lunch.
Oh great.
So thank you so much, Rachel, for joining in. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did.
Great.
And we'll definitely do this again.
Yes, let's do it again. Wonderful.
Okay. Thank you everyone for joining in. If you have any questions for Rachel or for me, send us over. We will put up the recipes and we will put up the final pictures of our creations tomorrow morning for everyone in Pakistan. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.